Hello and welcome to an introduction to glycolysis. Let me make myself clear in the beginning itself. I will not be explaining any of the steps of glycolysis, but instead I will be talking about what glycolysis is, where it happens, and why it is needed. So let's start with the three basic questions: what, where, and why. What? So the first thing, glycolysis is a metabolic pathway. Now, what's a metabolic pathway? We consume food which is converted into energy. This chemical process is called cellular respiration, and all of the pathways or the chemical processes occurring in this are also referred to as the metabolic pathways. Cellular respiration is the entire process of converting food into energy. Now, this is not an exact definition. I'm only telling you in simple terms so that it's easy to understand. So food is converted to energy via metabolic pathways, and the entire process altogether is called cellular respiration. So one of such metabolic pathways is glycolysis, and it's the first step of cellular respiration, meaning it's the first step in the conversion of food into energy. The next thing, what happens in glycolysis is we have a molecule of glucose. Glucose is a 6-carbon molecule, and that is split into 2 molecules of pyruvate. Pyruvate is a 3-carbon molecule, so glucose is converted into 2 molecules of pyruvate, and this has both aerobic and anaerobic pathways. So meaning glycolysis can occur in the presence of oxygen or without oxygen, and it's also called the EMP pathway or the Embden-Meyerhoff-Parnas pathway, named after the scientists who discovered it. Now, where does this occur? Now, there are prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. Glycolysis occurs in both types of cells. We are eukaryotic, and in eukaryotic cells it occurs in the cytoplasm. Now, coming to what you've seen in the thumbnail, RBCs. How do RBCs get their energy? What is their source of energy? RBCs don't have mitochondria, they don't have nucleus. So they have to solely depend on glycolysis for energy. I will explain this in detail in the next video when we talk about the steps involved in glycolysis. Now, why does glycolysis occur? Why does it have to happen? Why does glucose have to split into pyruvate? The end product, which is pyruvate, it has 2 options. It can either go into an aerobic pathway when there's oxygen, or an anaerobic pathway when there's a lack of oxygen. So in the aerobic pathway, the pyruvate enters something called the citric acid cycle or the TCA cycle. This cycle will be discussed later, but for now, the pyruvate, when in aerobic conditions, enters the TCA cycle to yield a net product of 32 ATP molecules. In an anaerobic condition, pyruvate is converted into lactate, and this produces 2 ATP molecules. So the basic reason behind why glucose is converted into pyruvate is so that it can enter these pathways and generate more ATPs for energy. This glycolysis is actually a part of a bigger cycle called the carbohydrate metabolism. I will explain all of those pathways later, but this is for the time being. So this is all about what glycolysis is, where it occurs, and why is it needed. Thank you for watching this video, and if you liked it, please do like the video and do comment as to what videos you would like to watch next. I would be more than happy to create videos based on your suggestions. Thank you again.